How does that feel? That just knowing?
For me, and it'll be different for different people, but when you're actually sat in a state of knowing, it's just deep awe. It's like, wow, this thing, me laboring, all of us laboring for ourselves, never giving up, knowing that if we practice and if we change, our biology is changing and our body's going to change and our external world's going to change because we're practicing diligently. And there's this moment of just kind of like, wow, this is incredible. I feel blessed.
Just a little message from me. If you have not yet subscribed to the channel, please subscribe to the channel. You'll help me and other people so much by subscribing to the channel, because the episodes and the guests will be reached by so many other people. Thank you so much for your help. All right, let's go to the next question. The difference between knowing and becoming. One viewer commented, there's so much wisdom here. Lindsay, what is the difference between understanding something intellectually and really becoming it?
I love how people think I've got the answers to everything. I mean, I'm going to give it my best shot here. From my own experience, from what we teach, and from what I've witnessed with people that we've taught the NCS program to, and other people in my life, right? So if you understand something intellectually, and we teach this in the program for Dr. Joe with NCS, if you understand something philosophically, you haven't yet embodied it. So, we teach that you have to go from philosopher to initiate to master, from mind to body to soul, right? Literally to go from thinking to doing to being, right? Believe, behave, become, right? That's part of something that we teach. And so if you understand something intellectually, in your mind, philosophically, it's not yet in your body, it's not embodied. And so when you have taken the time, the conditioning process, right, of thinking a thought and having a feeling, a new thought, a new action, a new feeling over and over and over again, and you condition it in the conditioning process with your mental rehearsals, with the tools, with the techniques that we teach, and then you start to embody it, there's a sense of knowing that happens because it's in your body. You've gone from philosopher, you've been initiated, and now you're the master. You've mastered it, it's in your body, right? You're thinking as it, you're acting as it, you're feeling as that person that has that thing or is or has the life that you've been practicing, mentally rehearsing. And so then what happens is, as you're believing in that future that you can't, all great leaders in history did this, right? Believe in a future that you can't see, you can't feel, you can't hear, you can't touch. It's not yet in your external environment. And think about some great leaders that you know that have had to really believe in something very, very big that doesn't exist yet. And
Mm-hmm.
that's what we're doing. We're believing in something that hasn't shown up in our external world yet or in our body yet. We're behaving as it until we become it. And then when we become it, there is a sense of knowing that emerges. And then when those things show up, oftentimes in a way that you could, always in a way that you could least expect, but at a moment when you could least expect it, and you are in awe, you're like, what? What? You're in awe of the moment of this thing that you've labored for that's always better than you expect, which is why it's really important not to get too defined in your creations. That's the difference between intellectualizing or thinking or philosophizing about something and embodying it, becoming it until it shows up in your external world. And that's why, our bodies change because we're making different chemicals when we're having these new thoughts. It's biology. Those batch of neuropeptides and neurotransmitters that you instruct by thought alone, that then flood the body down the spinal cord into the corresponding hormonal center, you're literally changing your brain and body by thought alone. So It's like your biology, your neurochemistry, your neurocircuitry, your hormones, even your gene expression is changing because
Mhm.
you're changing how you think, act, and feel. And so it's the embodiment of that. And then you are it, and then you kind of don't care about it too much because there's a knowing that's not ego. It's just kind of a relaxed, calm, in awe, knowing, wow, this is what I say. I'm like, wow, this is amazing because I know that if I keep in earnest, you know, practicing, mentally rehearsing with this thought and these feelings, which feels amazing while I'm practicing, like you said, you did, feels amazing.
Mhm.
Amazing while I'm doing this, as long as I remember that this is what I'm practicing in my waking day, then something's going to, an opportunity is going to show up that's greater than you can expect. And people get, you know, at this state of awareness of it hasn't happened yet. I catch that thought and I stop it.
Just a little message from me. If you have not yet subscribed to the channel, please subscribe to the channel. You'll help me and other people so much by subscribing to the channel because the episodes and the guests will be reached by so many other people. Thank you so much for your help. So you said something very important here. You said like when you embody it, there's a sense of knowing. How does that feel? That just knowing.
For me, and it'll be different for different people, but when you're actually sat in a state of knowing, it's just deep awe. It's like, wow, this thing, me laboring, all of us laboring for ourselves, never giving up, knowing that if we practice and if we change, our biology is changing, then our body's going to change and our external world's going to change because we're practicing diligently. And there's this moment of just kind of like, wow, this is incredible. I feel blessed. I feel blessed that I get to know this work in my lifetime and that I get to witness others celebrating the same, to witness somebody saying to me, oh, and they're so excited and this thing happened. I'm like, I got a call, literally, well, I got a text the other day from a client. And she said, I'll read it to you. She said this to me. She took a whole company through the program, right? 42 of them. And she's been massively, massively tested and challenged. And you get the text where I need a little bit of help. I'm like, okay. And she sent me this text and it goes like this. It got my attention. She goes, I have got a great crazy story for you. When can we talk? Question mark. I'm like, hi. I'm in meetings for a couple of hours, so 7 o'clock, 7 p.m. GMT. She goes, anytime today. So I call her and I don't know if I can tell the story yet because I think it might become a story of transformation and it's financial business.
Mhm.
And she tells me this story and all I could say was, what? Wow. I mean, it was gigantic. I said, this is so big. I feel like I need a new word for it. And I was so happy for her. No, I mean, and I remember saying to her, she was massively challenged. And Dr. Joe says, you need the challenge to change. If you didn't have the challenge, you would never change. You'd be too comfortable. He doesn't say you'd be too comfortable. He just says you would never change. You need the challenge to change. And so she was massively, I mean, intergalactically challenged in my humble estimation. And so talking to her when she was going through that and she had a condition showing up in her body, like, here's what we're going to do. And I wanted to support her and to hear what's come out of that. And I said, wow. So all of that pain and challenge that you went through was part of your creation process. And we kind of just went, like we couldn't say anything because it was a lot. I mean, it
Hmm.
was a lot. So, um, if it ends up being a story of transformation, I promise I'll send you the link for your viewers so that you know what I'm talking about, because
Yes,
I
please.
always protect my private conversations, but I can talk about it generically. And um, the overcoming that she had to do, and she would get up in the morning, she was telling me, and this is the Genius Journal process that we teach for 30 days after the NCS program. You wake up in the morning, and what's the first thought that comes into your mind? What are you thinking and feeling? And you've got to catch those thoughts and say, oh, just like I said to you, if I have a thought that comes up like it's not working, I go, no, I need one of my other thoughts. I'd stop that thought in its track, and I have what I like to call my back pocket thoughts. I've got 6 or 7 of them, you know this, and I have got them ready. I'm like, no, I know it's working. This is just part of the process. These are my thoughts, right? This is just part of the process. Thank you for reminding me that I'm in a creation process right now. I'm very aware of where I am in that creation process right now, and I'm on my way. I'm on my
And
way
I'm gonna choose which thought is my dominant thought.
in this
Remember, you told me that.
right.
Yeah.
Not tomorrow, not later today, not in the morning when I do my meditation, not tonight when I do a nighttime meditation. Right now, I literally like, I am not going to keep thinking that thought. I know what that leads to, right? And that is an act of kindness for yourself, because those thoughts of it's not working make a chemical in your body that take you to the destiny that you don't want. And that's why Dr. Joe says, and we teach in the program, how many people here believe in the idea that your thoughts have something to do with your destiny? Ah, so you do, right? Well, human beings have between 60 to 70,000 thoughts in a day. And science tells us that 90% of those thoughts are the very same thoughts as the day before. Wouldn't it make
Hmm.
sense for us to do a little activity on what some of yours might be? And we look at them and they write them down and they go, oh, I'm aware of some of my common thoughts. I'm like, great, now you can change them, right?
Thank you so much, Lindsay. This was amazing. Thanks for your time. For everyone that is watching this on YouTube or listening it on any podcast channel, you can find Lindsay through Neuro Solutions. Can you just say the website, please?
I
So
will.
we can.
newchangesolutions.com. You can click on contact us and we'll answer your questions. They'll get to me. I also want to take a moment to thank Dr. Joe Dispenza, because without him and the decades of his work, how diligently he applies this to himself and his life and shares it with the world, none of this would be possible. So let's take a moment of thanks and gratitude for him.
Yeah. Thank you, Dr. Joe Dispenza. Really, really amazing. Appreciate everything what you also taught me and the community here. So, for thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for your questions, for your comments. We really, really appreciate it, and hopefully, this gave you some insights on really doing the work, on really doing the work and transforming. Have a great day, all. Thank you so much, Lindsay.
It's been an honor and a privilege. I'm so grateful to connect with you again. And thank you for everything you do. Just super.
I'll see you in coffee.
Yes, you will.